So let's go ahead and do our Pro Tools skills set. And the way to do it is we need to go to the website, go to timpolandmusic.com, just make sure we're doing everything we need to. And if we go to the skills project, it says we need to record, get into the studio in the first place, and then we need to create a session with a couple different monophonic tracks. In fact, I can actually let you do stereo ones here for the first part too. So we'll see that. Then we need to record a drum track and a mic track. Once you're done, we need to bounce the file to a disk. We need to name it with our last .first name and then upload it to here. So let's just do that process. Don't worry about remembering everything at the moment. Let's just do it. Now you're going to go over the DR202 and hit the play button. And it's going to start making sound go out of it so that you can see it in the mixer. So now let's look at the main mixer levels. Make sure we have input levels that are solid. We can see them coming in. Then we're going to want to make sure that the DR202 has the main mix clicked. That sends the signal levels out there. They need to be loud enough in the faders too, so turn up to where my finger is there, called unity gain. And finally, to hear everything that comes out, we need to turn the main mixer's volume of everything to unity. Now we should be able to be prepared to have these tracks go out to the speakers. So let's first make sure that the control room is down because we don't want it to be blasting out the main system. Then we're going to hit the main mix button, which lets the sound come in from the DR202 so we can actually hear it. Now let's turn up the control slowly. And you can hear the sound coming out of the speakers. Click here first to Pro Tools. And I'm going to go, I need to make sure that I record this in the proper location. So I'm going to click here where it says location. And I want to hit student files if it's not already there. I'm going to hit new folder and make a folder for my projects. Okay, so that's where everything's going to be. And I'm going to give it a title. I'm going to call it last.first_190 skills. Right, so my version of that, which is going to be poland.tim_190 skills 1. And what do I want for the information in this thing? I want it to be broadcast wave file, 16-bit, 44.1, not last used but stereo, and we want it to be interleaved. When you're done with that, hit create. And it creates a Pro Tools session. Well, we need some tracks to record, so we're going to go track, new, and for the drum machine you can either record 2 monos or 1 stereo. I'm just going to do 1 stereo and hit create. That's going to give us a track that can record the left and the right channels of what's going on. So the left ear and right ear. And we need to select the correct track for it to do that. Right now the DR202 drum machine's plugged into the mixer on the North Station anyways on the 13th and 14th input. So this thing, I/O or input, says 1, 2. It needs to be 13, 14. Now if you don't see any of this too, another way you can do it is you can go to Window and Mix and see over here it shows you I/O for the mix. I can select whatever I want there. Cool, got that. In order to be able to record it, I have to hit this record enable button. But there's no sound going into the moment, so I'm going to hit the drum track. And now I get sound going in there. If you didn't hear anything going in there, you may have to go over to the main input section on the top of the mixer, right where it shows the headphone plugging in and stuff, and it has the main control room volume, and you may have to hit FW, which is Firewire. That button, as opposed to the main mix one, that button will send it over a Firewire cable from the mixer to the computer. So if nothing works, make sure you have that Firewire button pressed down. Okay, let's hit record. We're going to hit record on this too, our transport. And then we're going to hit play to start it. So as soon as we get the sound in, I'm going to hit play on the drum machine. Cool. So now I have a recording of that. I'm going to also disable that for the moment. Double click where it says audio and give it some new name. I want it to be the drum track name. See if that plays back. Cool, it works. The microphone cables are all wound up in this spindle here, so just pull it out carefully. You can use like the handle and kind of your hand as well to pull it out. And they're connected one to another from the male to the female ends. This one's a pretty long one, so I'm pulling it and pulling it. Okay, finally unclip it. And you can see the end here has the 3 prongs. And that's it. Now we need to connect it to a microphone. So now I'm going to create a new track for my microphone that I plugged in earlier. And hit create. As I can see over on the right side too, I have a new input. And it actually defaults it to the input I want. I want input 1. That's where I plug my microphone in. I don't want it in 2 or whatever. It's just one thing coming in, so it's mono rather than stereo. Okay. I'm going to double click on this and say mic. Then I'm going to hit record here. Hey, 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 I can see me going in. Now if I hit rewind. Now if I hit record and play, it'll record me making sounds. That's not where I want it. But I recorded that. Rewind. And now record. Best sound ever. Cool, now that the whole thing's done, I want to make sure I save it. File, save. And now I also want to take everything and turn it into a file that anyone can listen to, that you can send to anyone, like an MP3 or a file that you put on SoundCloud, something like that. To do that, you have to go to File, and then Bounce to. That means take all this stuff and throw it together. Bounce to disk. It's going to give us some settings. And we want to use this, stereo out, 1, 2. It's always going to be out channel 1, 2. That's our main speakers. We want it in WAV file format. I say add MP3 so we can have one of those too. Interleave, we always want that rather than multiple mono or summed. That just makes one file for us. We want 16-bit, 44.1. It's got the name we want already. It's going into the location we want. Student files, Tim Poland, and then it's got this folder here. And offline, we always want it to be offline. Offline means it's going to do it as fast as possible. Now hit bounce. We can do more settings like this if we want for the MP3. I'm not going to change anything on them. And hit OK. And now it creates everything, makes a copy for us. Let's go to File and quit this. Sorry, Pro Tools and quit. And go find our files so we can upload them to me. Student files on the desktop there. There's my Tim Pullen. There's my folder. Last.first. Not a very good name. I need to change that actually to. Should be my last name actually. And if I open this thing up with this disclosures triangle, I'm going to see that it has all the audio files are recorded. So if I ever need to edit them later, I can. It's got the bounced files, which means the version of it that's created that anyone can listen to. I just open that and I can hit play. Okay, so I have that. I have this thing here, which is the main Pro Tools file itself. And some other stuff that we don't really need to worry about. But we need to have all these different files. All this stuff needs to all be inside one folder like this. If it's not, it won't be able to move from computer to other computers. We're going to right-click on it. And we're going to compress it now. That's going to put it into one little lump sum that's easy to send places on the internet. Okay. Now that I have that, I want to turn it in. So I'm going to click on this place to turn it in. And it says I can just choose it, which I can click here and find it. And that'll work, and hit open. Or I can just click where it is and drag it over there. Either way should work. Type my name, my email, and then hit upload. And it submits the project. When it says done in green, it's done and I have it. Make sure when you do this, you use a fast internet. A lot of times the studio internet here is really slow, so you may need to move somewhere else to actually do this last part of it. That's it.